Hi Geometries, this is Mr. Blum. I'm doing some solutions for the composite shapes review. Okay, you got to keep in mind when we're looking at composite shapes, we're breaking them down into the basic formulas. Well, we've got them right here. We got them, if you just check them out, we got them right here all the way down. We got the basic shapes and formulas we're going to need to get this done. Now, let's do one at a time and see how we do. Well, the big thing is try to see what you can do about breaking it down. I know that this is a 9 by 9.3, 10.1 square, okay? And I know that this is 37.5 minus 9.3 to get that length. This length right here I'm looking for. So I'm going to take my 37.5 minus 9.3, and I get 28.2. So this at length is 28.2, and that is feet. Okay. Now we're going to look at that vertical. Okay. Now I've got 11.1 and 10.1. Well, that's 21.2. So that is 21.2. So I have two shapes. The big one, 21.2 times 28.2 plus my little one, 9.3 times 10.1. Now I'm going to take my calculator and multiply those together. 21.2 times 28.2 plus 9.3 times 10.1. Now I get 691.7, and they say round to the 10th. So my area is 691.8 feet squared. I'm just going to move these down a little bit because I want to make sure some y'all see what I used. The area I found was a big rectangle plus a little rectangle. And that's all I did. I added those two areas together. I'm trying to get it down to the basic shapes that we have here. Don't want to do anything fancy. The fancier it is, the more in trouble I'm going to get. Okay, let's look at this next page. All right, so I've got a circle, and I've got a square inside a circle. Okay, you got a square inside a circle. Regular polygons are circumscribed by a circle. So now we're looking at this, and I've got this going all the way across, and I know some properties about these. I know this is 90, I know this is 90, and we're going to be looking at this. We're going to be looking at it as a square. This is 12.6, and my radius of my circle, let's talk about things I know. My circle radius is half of 12.6, which is 6.3. Okay, my diameter of my square, diameter, I should say diagonal of my square is 12.6. Well, I'm going to use something that's going to be kind of fun in this. I'm going to find the area, and I'm going to take the circle area. I'm going to subtract my square area, but I'm going to use diagonals to make it work. So the formula I'm going to be working with is pi r squared, my circle area formula, minus 1/2 diagonal 1 times diagonal 2, because squares, diagonals meet at right angles. So I'm going to take my two measurements I found. I got pi times 6.3 quantity squared minus 1/2. And remember, my diagonals are the same over there, so 12.6 quantity squared. Well, I'm going to grab out my calculator and put in 6.3 raised to the second power, okay, times pi minus 0.5 times 12.6 squared. Okay, that will return me 45.309. Now remember, I got 45.309. Am I supposed to round to the 10th? So it's 45.3. And this is meters squared. And I'm going to change colors for our next one. Okay, now this is kind of a really cool idea of a triangle. I've got a base of a triangle at 13.4. I've got a rectangle that has a 5.3 height, but that 13.4 is also its base. And I'm trying to find the blue region. So I'm going to basically take my area is going to be my rectangle minus my triangle, and I'll orient the triangle kind of in the same position. So I've got measurements for what I need. I've got my rectangle, which is base times height, which is 13.4 times 5.3 minus my triangle, which is 1/2 base times height. Maybe we'll put those in there for us so you guys can see what I'm finding. Remember, this is equal to base times height, and this is minus 1/2 base times height. Okay. Now, adjust things so you can see they're kind of together. And my base again is 13.5. Excuse me, 13.4 for my base and 5.3 for my height. Now, I'm going to grab my calculator and I'm going to put them in. But now, right now I'm recognizing that I'm going to take this and subtract half of that. These are the same thing. I'm taking half away. So my final answer is just half of the area of my rectangle. So I'm going to multiply everything together and get that done. And my final answer is 35.51, but I'm supposed to round to the nearest tenth, so it's 35.5 meters squared. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to change colors again. And we're going to find the area of this last one. Now, I've got a rectangle. Minus a circle. I call these cave drawings, okay, just to kind of get it going because the result's going to be the stuff that's left over. So I'm going to take my base times height minus my pi r squared for my circle. So my base is 27.3. My height is 14.4. And I'm going to take away my pi r squared. And my radius is tough. That is going all the way across, and that's that value. But that's the diameter. So half of 14.4 is 7.2, and that is my radius. And now I reach my calculator again. So now I've got 27.3 times 14.4 minus pi r squared. Pi times 7.2 squared. And I get 230.259 rounded to the nearest tenth is 230.3. And I have inches squared. Now let's go on to our next set of three. We'll stop it here. So this is the first half of our composite shapes area review.